Initiating podcast download. Prepare yourself. Put on your spandex. Lace up your boots. Wrap your wrists. Hide your razor blade. Head to gorilla position. Grease up your hair. Apply baby oil. Okay, apply more baby oil. Get into gimmick. Keep your ears open and your mouth shut. Have fun and be safe out there, brother. Welcome to Iron on Wrestling. Now your host, Gregory Iron.
Hello again, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Iron on Wrestling with Gregory Iron. This is episode 116. And today we got a special episode. Guys, a baby's on the way. It's baby wrestling. Today, we get the first scoop on the creation of the baby from Johnny Gargano. And we're going to go and talk about how he feels about being a father. We're going to delve into a little bit of his toy collection. We're going to talk some NXT stuff. We're going to get some details behind the formation of the Way. Of course, we're going to talk about his lovely wife, Candice LeRae, and her NXT Championship win, what that meant to Candace, what that meant to Johnny, and so much more. It's going to be a very good episode, and I'm thankful that you all joined me today for this. And so, as I begin to get interrupted, I will just sit out. Oh boy. Okay. This can't be good.
Pardon the interruption.
All right. Why are you not okay?
Oh, man. You ever have a panic attack before? Like a real one?
No.
Oof. I've been having them lately, dude.
Why?
I don't know. I'm sitting
would
in
you
a
figure that out?
restaurant. Picture this. I'm sitting in Denny's, of all places.
You should never have a panic attack in Denny's.
Right?
They got great pancakes, but low-key, incredible skillets.
Yeah.
Skillets really the thing to go to.
I think I had some hash browns and some eggs.
Oh, come on.
Toast, and I don't really remember everything.
What a waste.
But, yeah, I was just sitting, and I couldn't bring the fork up to my mouth. I started shaking real bad. And I just got up from the table immediately and went to the bathroom. And I locked myself in that little stall, and I was trying to just do, like, breathing exercises.
Okay.
And then I started throwing up. And I don't know. Hard times for your boy over here. And that's only one time that happened this weekend. I mean, and I wasn't okay for like an hour. Like this lasted probably an hour or a little bit more.
You don't know why this is happening?
No. When I had COVID and stuff, I was getting real bad panic attacks. But now it's like sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm just like worried or scared.
Uh-huh.
And there's a lot of tension, a lot of anxiety.
Okay.
And, pretty much every day I wake up, I go and throw up immediately.
Sounds unhealthy.
It's not good. But I don't know what to do about it. I don't think there's anything I really can do about it right now. I don't want to get on any medication.
Yeah, I feel like you should talk to a doctor, but
Well,
also a doctor
listen.
might just prescribe some sort of weird medication. I don't know.
Because I talked to a doctor a couple months ago when I went to a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And he recommended that I see a specialist, some therapist, a psychologist, a psychiatrist, or something. So I made calls, and the doctors that I was referred to either canceled the appointments with me.
Okay.
And come on. If you're somebody that's got some panic attacks and anxiety issues, and your doctor is canceling your appointments, or they're not calling you back.
Yeah.
Because the places I've called, nobody's called me back, and nobody has room for someone else. And I've heard that since COVID started last year, what is it, a year and a half ago or something?
Yeah, just about, yeah.
That all these cases are up of people who are having mental health issues.
Yeah.
So I just gave up on it. Of trying to get in to see a doctor.
Okay. Wow.
I mean, I've called 7 and not been able to get in. So that's it. I'm done. Because that's adding more anxiety to me.
Yeah.
And more stress. And, yeah, I'm not exactly sure what's going on, but happy to be here.
Happy that you are here.
And doing this podcast with you.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
I hope things get better. We got to figure out a way to sort of ease this anxiety, though. We got to figure it out.
Yeah.
There's got to be something behind that.
I know.
I
But
mean,
like people that have this, it's hard to explain. You can't really explain what you're going through. Like that episode I had this weekend, just that one specific one out in public.
Yeah.
That was bad, man. I mean, I'm shaking my ass off.
Yeah, that's not good.
And yeah, I feel terrible most of the time.
Sometimes, when we don't understand why we're going through the things that we're going through, sometimes, maybe it would be good to see a doctor, but also maybe it's just there's something that you're lacking that once you find it, things will be better. Like, I don't know, like, for example, one of our Patreon members, Sky, she, and I hope she doesn't mind me talking about this a little bit, but she really struggles with an eating disorder, and the Patreon community has been very supportive to her. We love her very much, and I've talked with her on our Zoom calls, and so have the other Patreon members about I love to eat, and I can't fathom the idea of just not being compelled to eat food. It's delicious, it makes me happy, but there's something that food does to Sky where it's just not something that she wants or enjoys, and she doesn't really understand why. And hopefully with love and support and time, things get better for her, and she, I don't know, like, because she's an aspiring wrestler, and more importantly, she's a great human being. And Aaron, you're a great human being too. And it's whatever is this that's inside of you causing this. I hope we can stumble across something.
Well, when did I cancel on you? Was that Friday?
Friday.
Yeah,
night. Yeah.
because it started then. It started then, and I started. I texted you. I said I can't do tonight. Got to cancel, and I got sick.
Well, we got about 2 hours of this podcast tonight, so hopefully this ease the tension a little bit.
Yeah. I want to talk about some fun things. I had to get that out of the way though, because a lot of our patrons, they're open to hearing these things.
Sure. As is the free audience. We appreciate you guys, too. Thanks for tuning in, as always. Hope you guys enjoyed the last couple of weeks of podcasts. Of course, if we go back 3 weeks ago to one of our most downloaded episodes, Jake Christ, episode 113. You guys were loving that at the end of the month. Then, of course, Eddie Only returned. That was also a very well-downloaded podcast. And surprisingly, even without a guest this last week, the AIW story, the XPW relaunch, the Q&A session that we did last week on episode 115 was very downloaded as well, so we appreciate the continued support. And but this week, we're back to guests, and I sort of alluded to it, I think, last week, which I could not talk about, but now, the secret's out. Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae are having a baby. and we can talk about it, Aaron.
Eric's pregnant?
Congratulations! I'm going to talk about it in the interview with Johnny about how I felt about the whole situation, and everything, and how he sprung it up. Well, I guess I really didn't talk about how he sprung it upon me, but it was just I was caught off guard, and I'm one of those guys that when something really, really seriously emotional happens, it's funny.
Yeah.
You know me; I'm a very emotional guy, and I have no problem being open and honest and just in
You
touch
love
with
crying.
I'm a fan of crying. But so I'm sitting with Johnny and Candace, and they're meeting Nicole for the first time, and
Who's Nicole?
my girlfriend.
Oh.
And
Has she got a sister?
yes, her name's Jess. You know her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you been talking to her?
Oh, so much.
Because she hasn't mentioned you once. I saw her the whole weekend.
Yes.
And not one time was your name brought up ever. Unless she's just kind of, she doesn't really kiss and tell.
She likes to keep secrets.
Okay.
You know, she's
You're a secret.
a dirty little secret.
Okay. So
No, I've never spoke to her once.
So they, Candace and Johnny, they brought up the baby thing in front of me. Nicole, I was surprised because they just met Nicole, and I mean, they just brought it up, and they
They
Candace,
probably felt comfortable with her.
yeah. Well, she's great, and I think she really won them over, and so they told us the baby thing, and so we're sitting there talking casually, and then all of a sudden, Candace just kind of says, "Well, I'm probably not going to be wrestling for the next few months, at least 9." And then I just kind of sat there.
That's awesome.
And
What would you think? Like knee injury or something? Or
well, no, I just kind of sat there because I was being stared at with Johnny. So then I got the hint, but then I made a joke, and I'm not even going to say the joke because it was terrible. But then Johnny says, because it's that bad, I'm embarrassed I made the joke. And then Johnny goes, that's your reaction? And I was like, yeah. Wait, is there something else? Like, you're having a baby. And then, but here's the thing. So, of course, my reaction, not the best. And he said, I told Vic, that being Vic Joseph, and he's like, he got goosebumps. And I was like, okay, well, I don't know what I'm happy.
Yeah.
And legitimately, Aaron, I was so happy.
yeah.
It was a weird feeling. Obviously you've had children of your own.
Mm-hmm.
And tell me if you sympathize with this. Again, I talked about it with Johnny. There's been times in my life where people tell me, I'm having a baby. I'm like, oh, cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not that close to them. I'm like, that's cool. I'm genuinely happy for him.
Yeah.
But, I never thought that I would be so overwhelmingly happy for someone having a baby.
Mm-hmm.
Like I am for Johnny. Does that make sense, though?
Yeah.
Have you ever had that feeling for someone else, having a baby?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, it was weird. I felt
don't
like
know.
legit.
I mean, yeah, I've had friends that have had that were, announced they were pregnant, and it was like, oh, yay. I don't know. I mean, when I found out that I was having my first child, I posted stuff on the internet and stuff, but I was scared to death.
Yeah.
So I don't know how Johnny feels, but I just felt, oh my gosh, I am not ready.
Well, we'll
And
talk about
I
it
was in
later.
my 30s.
Yeah. Yeah, no, well, did you plan it?
No, because doctors didn't think that I could have babies.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, lack of a penis was the problem.
Okay.
No,
I didn't see that coming.
oh yeah. No, so I didn't think I was gonna have children, and fine, I was okay with it because Xavier's not my biological son, and I was okay with just having him.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I was like, oh shit, I'm having a real baby now,
Mm-hmm.
from birth.
Yeah.
And well, yeah, I freaked out, and I don't think I could be excited because I was so worried, and I just doubted myself the whole time. oh my gosh, I'm not financially stable, piece of shit, you know.
Yeah, all true statements.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I was supposed to do this WWE thing, tryout with the Gator, Steve Kern.
Yeah.
And then that was like the due date, same day as that. So I didn't go to that. I didn't go to the tryout. And yeah, I don't know, man. I was nervous. And then right after Micah was born, she was pregnant with Colton. Like, these boys are 9.5 months apart.
Yeah.
So
it's cool that way, though. Like,
No.
me and my brother were that way. Like,
no, that's
basically,
not.
like,
There's nothing cool about that at all.
well, I mean, it's a lot of pressure, but for brothers, it's a cool thing. Like,
I don't think they like each other.
oh, that's unfortunate. Okay.
I
Maybe
mean,
not so
they're
cool.
they're just they're I don't know. They're two different people, and you know, one he's a star in sports and very popular, and he likes girls now and wears deodorant and shit like that. The other one isn't quite there yet. He has no interest in dating anybody, or he doesn't have like a crush, a Hollywood crush or anything like that.
Yeah.
He what else? He doesn't like that his brother doesn't want to play with him anymore. His brother wants to go and hang out with the kids that he hangs out with that play sports.
Sure.
And his brother just wants to, he likes playing video games and cooking.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. They've never gotten along, really. I mean, the first picture that we took after Colton was born was with Xavier was holding Micah. Micah was holding Colton. And Micah was kicking Colton in the head during the picture.
Oh.
He was just, laying in some boots.
Oh, boy.
And I went, this is how it's going to be.
Not a good sign.
Yeah.
Well, thankfully, Johnny only has to worry about one child right now.
Do we know that?
There have been ultrasounds posted on the internet.
Okay, it only shows one.
It shows one,
Okay.
and he sent me a text message, and I will show it to you, and I'll post this on social media. I think he posted the photo as well, but the text message was an ultrasound with the baby and a very defined hand,
Yeah.
and then his text with the caption that says, "It's taunting you already," because the baby's hand is fully functional, apparently.
Yes.
And so,
that's only one.
well, he's told me I can't wait to raise my child to bully you. Okay, and I was like, yeah, it's gonna be great. Can't wait for that, Johnny.
Is he part of the anti-bully campaign for the WWE be a star?
I think he is. But it's okay if you just train one kid to bully me.
Yeah.
I think that's allowed.
Yeah.
But for everything else, bullying is not tolerated in the eyes of Johnny Gargano in the way. But since we're having Johnny on later in the show, I know that you've always been a big fan of both Johnny and Candace.
Mm-hmm.
And you wanted to sort of touch on...
I always felt like Candace was the best baker in Cleveland.
It's a strong statement.
Okay, second best.
Maybe. Possibly. If you like fake sports.
Ah,
Sure.
You got my reference.
Of course I did.
Ah, I'm surprised.
Thank you.
For those who didn't, Baker Mayfield is the quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, which leads me to an announcement I have to make. That's not the NFL song.
Nope. That was definitely Stars and Stripes.
Anyway, so we're going to do the Iron On football, fantasy football league again.
Oh, joy. I can't wait to participate over on patreon.com/irononwrestling.
Greg, who was
Foosball, you
13 last year.
Yeah, I almost made a comeback.
Yeah. So, but I did want to make that announcement because I've had some people slide into my DMs recently and say, hey, when's that coming back around? The draft will be September 1st.
Okay, well, if you're not
I change it.
If you're not on patreon.com/irononwrestling, you want to participate in this foosball draft, then you should get on board starting at $3 over on the Patreon, you get involved. Not only will you get involved in the foosball, but you get bonus content. That's bonus audio, bonus video. Of course, if you move up in the tiers, $5 tier gets you involved in the Zoom call once a month, which we'll be doing sometime before the end of the month, I believe. And then also we got the $9 tier. We can pick a bonus podcast subject. If you pick the $20 tier, you're going to be getting a special package in the mail from Aaron and I every other month, this month being one of them. So sign up now. There's a bunch of other tiers you can sign up for. In general, we appreciate you supporting the show, but why don't you sign up for the $20 tier so that way you can get something in return other than the awesome content. You get something physical in the mail, snail mail. That's how we operate here at the podcast. But
well, we can't send T-shirts. An email.
Well, that's very true. But we are
Yeah.
going to send. Well, I guess we'll just spoil. We're going to send out a special T-shirt just for Patreon members this
What?
month. Yeah, first time ever. Maybe the last time. But anybody who's in the $20 and up tier, you're going to get a T-shirt. And there's probably going to be a couple other things in the package. So it's probably going to be a biggest and best package forever. Tell me where else you can get a $20 shirt inside a $20 package with other stuff and not pay shipping. I don't know. So why don't you jump on board? Patreon.com/IronWrestling. Only this month is the only month we're going to be offering.
Do you know what the shirt's going to be?
I have an idea, and it
Okay.
involves an alpaca.
Wow.
Yeah.
These people are in for a real treat, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And if they pay an extra $5 on top of the 20, what else could they get with that?
An alpaca could sniff your mustache for $5.
That is a thing that could happen potentially.
Hey, who was our boy that sent out that tweet today?
That was Mr. _PGD, also the co-host of the 20 by 20 podcast with our good friend Pete over on Patreon, which we love, 20 by 20. Yeah, and he tweeted, I'm waiting in a doctor's office for my wife, and a girl across from me is on her phone and showing her mom something and says, "This is an alpaca." I asked her if she needed $5 so it could sniff my mustache.
and that's what put that dollars is what really popped me and put the tweet over huge.
Yep.
Yeah, baby.
I just want us. I would have liked to have been a fly on the wall to see this little girl's reaction to this grown man chiming in.
Yeah.
You know, if you had $5, the alpaca would sniff your mustache.
Yeah, I'm surprised the mom didn't call security or something.
She might have. He might have left that out of the tweet. So, but Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae.
Yes.
Let's talk about it.
Okay. Johnny and Candace together wrestling each other was probably my favorite moment of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. They had 2 great matches in Cleveland. And I did commentary, I think with Eddie Kingston on one of them.
Okay.
And then the other one might have been with BJ Whitmer. But, man, those matches were good. And I remember you telling me to keep an eye on that match. So I took that match in commentary, because we would rotate commentators.
Yeah.
But I want to make sure I had that one. Because you had told me that Candace knows how to wrestle intergender style better than anyone that you know.
Yeah, I mean, like there were times working with her where I think I'm a real stickler for psychology and logic. I mean, we talk about it on the podcast all the time. I talk about it in seminars. Pro wrestling is taking something so illogical and creating logic out of it. You create logic out of the illogical. And so when it comes to the small, minute details, I'm a stickler. And there were times when I called matches with Candace where she said, well, maybe we don't do that, we do this because that might make you look a little dumb, and this is why. And she would explain it, and I'd be like, oh my God, you're right.
Yeah.
And just, I don't know, like I really appreciated her thought process. And I remember seeing Candace and Johnny call some of that. I think you're referring to the match I'm thinking of. And I think that match they built to a punch. Am I correct when I say that? They did a bunch of wrestling, and eventually it builds to Johnny punching Candace, and that's kind of the cutoff, and then we go into the heat. Am I right?
I don't think the punch happened.
No?
No. I think Johnny was about to. Or it was maybe going to be a super kick or something.
Okay.
So one of those moves. And then Johnny, showed some remorse or something, maybe.
Okay.
And then Candace rolled him up and almost got the win.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff, man. I really liked everything that they brought to the table. And then they're just like a fun couple.
Yeah.
You know, like if you were to go out on a double date, you pick Candace and Johnny to go out with.
Sure. And the thing I like about Candace, too, is, when I ended up moving out from Johnny's when I was there for like 7 years, and I moved in with my now ex-girlfriend, Candace sort of came along right after that, and I felt like, not that I looked out for Johnny, but he helped me so much, but I feel like I was there to help him as well, and just be there to banter with him, to be his best friend, and to have a significant other come into his life that not only becomes his girlfriend and eventually his wife, but really his best friend. That meant a lot to me, to know that there was someone to take care of him and just...
So you and Johnny were like brothers, right? He was like a brother to you. You were like a brother to him.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
And Johnny's mom is like a mother to you. I've heard you talk about that before.
Yeah.
Wally's like a creepy uncle to you.
For sure.
And so, so then is Candace like a sister to Johnny? You said they're best friends.
Yeah, you see, you're making it weird now, man. Why are you doing that?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, God. That's not good. Maybe she'd be like a sister to me?
Okay.
That makes
Yeah,
more sense.
that's better.
Yeah. And look, like Candace has done a lot for me, too. Just like little stuff that meant so much. Like one year she baked a cake for me.
I was just going to ask, have you ever tried her baking?
I've had a lot of her baking.
A lot, huh?
Yeah.
You're not even a guy who's like a big sweets guy, really, are you?
When Candace makes cookies, or when she, on that one time she baked me a cake, like, man, I go out of my way because it's so good.
What about that time that we did the Johnny Comes Home or whatever for WWE?
Oh, after he won the NXT title.
Yeah. And Candace had baked all these wonderful cupcakes.
Yeah. That was the thing she used to do at the gimmick table.
Yes.
So wrestling fans know that, like, she would sell cupcakes at the gimmick table.
Yeah, Candace's cupcakes or whatever.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah. Candace as a friend for me is just like, I think I've talked about it on the show, but it's worth mentioning again. If it's not for Candace being there for me after my long-term relationship ended with Mary, I don't know. She helped put me in a better place mentally. Johnny as well, but Candace had a lot of private text conversations with me, including one that ended up getting me booked in LA, which then led to me talking to Andy Williams, coincidentally, who said, hey, if you're ever booked in LA, I can get you on Stone Cold Steve Austin's podcast. And I said, I literally just got booked in LA because of Candace. And then I go on Stone Cold's podcast. And even, I don't know if I mentioned this before, even the day that I showed up to Stone Cold's house, I remember so nervous because it's Stone Cold Steve Austin. And I'm in the car, I'm in the Uber, and I'm pulling up, and I was probably like 3 minutes away, and just randomly Candace texted me, and she said, hey, just wanted to text you, remind you, everything and anything that happens today, I want you to really pay attention and just let it all sink in.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. And that's when I pull up to Austin's house, and I look at him, I see him, he's a mismatched camo, and he's wearing New Balance, and I'm just like, he's just a guy.
Yeah.
And Candace sending me that text made me feel so much better about it. So she's just a wonderful human, and I couldn't be happier.
Yeah, congratulations to both of them.
Just a small part of their lives, Even Candace's brothers are really close with me too. It's like her brother Shane loves Ghostbusters, so we talk about Ghostbusters all the time, and her brother Cole. I've loved doing his podcast a couple times. We've actually aired a couple of his podcasts on Patreon. Just good people and good times, and I couldn't be happier. But we've talked about all this happiness, but there's something that you wanted to address, Aaron, something that's been bothering you a bit that I don't know if anybody else is bothered by it, but I guess if you want to talk about this right now, let's get to it.
What is it?
That's how bad it's bothering you. Maybe this is the reason for all your mental anguish right now. Your name.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's a story out right now concerning a Major League Baseball pitcher by the name of Trevor Bauer.
Okay.
Spelled B-A-U-E-R.
Oh, that's how you spell your name.
Yes. So for the past several weeks, I've been talking to you about, I think maybe I should change my name. Because
Yeah.
I don't want to be associated with that guy.
Wait, what has he done? I mean, like,
done some terrible things to a woman. He claims it was consensual, and whether it was or not, that's not up to me to decide, but she's got some photos with her eyes have been blackened, and
God,
he
okay.
choked her out, and then she woke up to like him allegedly, this is all allegedly, punching her vagina.
Oh, okay. That seems abnormal.
Right. So I was contemplating getting rid of the name Bauer. A little too controversial for me. But I don't know what I would use. You know, what kind of name I would. I mean, I guess I could use, you know, my shoot name, Aaron Simmons. I could do that.
No,
I
you don't have to do that.
I mean, you know, my other name was Aaron McGuire, and I really like that name.
yeah.
Maybe I go back to that. Do you have any suggestions?
I mean, I like Aaron Bauer. I don't think there's really any reason to change it. I mean, I feel like you're overthinking this whole thing. I mean, I didn't even know this was a story until you told me about it.
It's maybe the biggest story in baseball right now.
Is it really?
Yeah. And I know you're a baseball guy.
I am. I'm a big baseball guy, so...
I want to talk about something else with baseball, too, in a second, but do you want to get to that? What do you think would be a good name for me if I were to change my name, or do you want to just leave that up to the listeners?
I mean, I guess if I have to try to think of something here, I mean, just off the top of my head. Well, okay, you wanted to go with your real name. Why not, like, something that sounds kind of like your real name, but isn't as controversial? Like, I don't know, like maybe instead of Aaron Simmons, maybe just spitballing here, Aaron Simpson. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, because, you know, there's Bart Simpson and Homer Simpson.
Well, yeah, he just tells people to eat his shorts. I mean, I don't see the problem with that.
Eat my shorts.
Yeah, no, that's Michael Holly saying eat
Oh,
my shorts.
that's right.
Our good friend Hardcore Holly. But, yeah, Simpson is a fine, non-controversial name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't like that at all. You got anything else? Well, the other thing is, I mean, not just The Simpsons, which is a great show, but there was a man who allegedly killed his ex-wife.
Oh, okay.
O.J. Simpson.
Yeah. You know, I just you ever see that interview that he did where it was basically if I did it and
This is how I would have done it.
Yeah. He goes hypothetically, if I murdered Nicole, and then he plays out exactly how it goes down, but he keeps saying hypothetically, and he's like laughing. I'm like, what a psychopath. So okay, so maybe.
But he was great in The Naked Gun.
We can't deny that.
Okay.
And I used to, you know, when I did watch football as a kid, I used to like watching him on NBC on the pre-show. Remember when he used to do that? And I remember after the whole thing was happening, I remember asking my mom, does that mean OJ isn't going to be on the NFL pre-shows anymore?
I always liked his commercials he did. There's like some rental car place or something.
Yeah. Was it Hertz or something?
I don't know.
Okay, so maybe that's not the best idea. What about, all right, so your name's currently Aaron Bauer.
Yeah.
So what if it sort of sounds like Bauer?
Okay.
This is what I'm going with here. Like it sort of sounds similar, so maybe people won't notice the difference. Like when, like MJF, he started out as Maxwell Jacob Feinstein. And then people were like, hey, maybe you should change that. And he became Maxwell Jacob Friedman.
Yeah.
So what if instead of Bauer, you're Aaron Dahmer? Sounds kind of like Bauer.
It does sound similar, but there was a guy in Milwaukee, I believe, who was originally from Ohio. Jeffrey Dahmer.
Jeffrey Dahmer. Okay, so maybe not.
And then there was that wrestler, Sean Dahmer.
I feel like that's more of a reason not to be Dahmer now that you mention that. That guy sucked. Man, his name now is, I believe, Sean Reznor, like Trent Reznor.
Oh, okay. So he changed his name. I can change my name.
Yeah. But still, I would not want to do anything in honor of Sean Dahmer, the worst of the two Dahmers in this scenario.
All right. Well,
maybe we should move on. I don't know.
All right. Yeah. Our patrons can, and our listeners, if they feel like it, they can tweet.
If anybody has an idea that isn't controversial, that maybe Aaron can change his last name to, send us a message, send us a tweet, send us a Facebook, over on @Iron on Wrestling, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Let us know, Patreon members, if you have any suggestions. Of course, drop them in the comments below.
Of, Aaron Monroe. Like Marilyn Monroe?
Okay.
Meow.
All right.
Kitty want a new name.
I can see you with a dress on with the wind blowing.
You guys don't see it right now, but I'm scratching at Greg.
No, stop it.
Yeah,
Don't do that.
I'm pawing at him.
Not necessary. Okay, well, enough of the meowing and the weird names and everything. So, in just a second, we're going to be going to the interview with Johnny Gargano. But, of course, if you're on Patreon, you get an extended version of the podcast each and every week. And it's early, of course. If you're listening to this for free on Wednesday, you actually could have listened to this on Tuesday when I uploaded it for Patreon. So, right now, we're going to do a little bit of extra bonus content for Patreon because Aaron wants to talk about some current wrestling stuff. And we're going to start with a little AEW. So, here we go over to Patreon. Had intercourse with a woman, and after one time, he made a baby. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, why are you laughing at that? Why is that funny?
Johnny lost his flower recently.
Yeah, that's why he's having a baby. And so, I'd like to think that if...
You know what's coming to my mind? Sorry.
What's that?
Tonight, on a very special Iron on Wrestling,
Okay.
Johnny Gargano loses his flower.
Dramatic.
And he talks about it.
Love it. I'd like to think that... Why are you laughing?
You ever watch like on a very special blossom?
Oh, yeah. But it's like, or what was it? Saved by the Bell, like
when Zach was drunk driving.
Yeah, or Jesse takes caffeine.
Oh, that was it.
Yeah.
She was so excited.
I'm so excited.
Hey, we're getting off on a tangent here too, but there's a TV station that plays nothing but old Saved by the Bell episodes in a marathon form.
Ooh.
For like 4 hours in the mornings now.
Love
I
that.
try to watch that at work because a good friend of ours and somebody who has employed me in the past, Bob Golick, is in the college years.
That's true, yeah.
And there was an episode, it was so weird. So Kelly has a crush on
Bob Golick.
the professor. No, whoever the professor was.
Okay.
And he has some kind of ailment, and he goes to the hospital. He's got like a kidney stone or something.
Okay.
And Kelly and Zach are both working in the hospital, and Zach's trying to get with Kelly. So he has suspicions that Kelly has a crush on the teacher, and so he's trying to keep her away from him. And she does have a crush on the teacher, so she's trying to keep Zach away from him.
Okay.
And then she keeps going, okay, well, you know what, sir? Now, he's been in the hospital for 20 minutes. She goes, I got to give you a sponge bath right now.
All right.
It was so weird.
You're in college now, bro.
I know, but they're talking about that on Saved by the Bell. Like,
The college years.
I know she really wants to give this old man a sponge bath.
What did Zach do to stop this all from occurring?
He kept running in and going, oh, nope, I got to take care of this. I'll give him the bath. And, it was fucking weird, man. I was weirded out by it. And then there was other weird stuff happening, too. Like, Zach threw a keg party or something and in the college dorm room. And the professor comes out and he stops everything. And then the dean comes in and she says, What's going on here? Mr. Morris, this is the time. I finally got you. And, of course, what's the professor do? No, I organized this rave.
Oh, yeah, of course he did. What the fuck? You ever watch Zach Morris's Trash on YouTube?
No.
I'll have to show you that. It's
Okay.
basically created by Funny or Die, and they basically explain how Zach Morris is actually a piece of shit from every episode of Saved by the Bell ever.
Yep.
You would love it.
Yeah.
So
He cock-blocked Screech in an episode.
there's a lot of
All of a
bad-
sudden, he's into Lark Voorhees, whatever her name was. Lisa
yeah,
Turtle.
Yeah, Lisa, yeah.
Yeah, just out of nowhere.
Yeah, they literally cover that in one of the episodes about what a piece of shit he is, right? Stealing his best friend's crush and just, yeah.
F. Zach Morris and his big-ass phone.
He's trash. And so, but I want to talk about the more important matter in hand.
Yes.
Johnny Gargano
Yeah.
losing his flower.
Okay.
I'm here to tell you something very important. And Johnny didn't say it on the podcast, but he told me in private. He said, Greg, I want to thank you. I said, why? He said, I wouldn't be having a child if it wasn't for you and your guidance. And I said, what do you mean? And he said, well, I'm a frequent listener to the Iron on Wrestling podcast.
Okay.
I said, wow, I appreciate that. He said, yeah, I listen religiously, and I signed up to the Patreon under a false name. He would not reveal what that name was, but he may or may not be that dump truck ass over on Patreon. I don't know that for sure. I know Johnny doesn't swear, but I feel like that would be his cover-up so that he could sort
Right,
of type
nobody
a
would
swear
ever
word. Yeah.
suspect him.
But he says, I hear you promoting Manscaped each and every week on your podcast.
Yeah.
And I had no choice but to invest in the Lawnmower 4.0. And I said, really now? He said, yes, really. See, Candace is very attracted to me. But sometimes she would say to me, you know, Johnny, if you were just better groomed down there. And he said, down where? And then she said, down there.
And did a crotch chop?
And she did a crotch chop as well.
Okay.
She said, maybe, just maybe, we can create a child. Johnny, wanting to have a baby, said, you know what? I think I might look into that. He said that with crackling in his voice. He was holding back tears because he knew that his moment was going to come. And come it did. Because he bought the lawnmower.
His moment?
It was his defining moment, you might say. He bought the Lawnmower 4.0, but not just the Lawnmower 4.0 itself. He bought the performance package. And Aaron, do you know what comes inside that performance package?
Yeah, I have one.
Well, of course, you know that you would get the Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant and the Crop Reviver to help your little balls down there with their A game. Manscaped even throws in 2 free gifts in the Performance Package 4.0, those being boxers and the Shed travel bag. Pretty convenient, and I think I have to remind everyone that with the Lawnmower 4.0, you're going to get that advanced skin-safe technology. You're also going to get that 7,000 RPM motor, the new multi-function on and off switch, and of course, it's waterproof. That's right. Johnny told me he accidentally dropped the Lawnmower 4.0 into a sink. Yeah.
Oh, into the sink?
Yeah.
Well, how does he do that?
He was filling up the thing with water, getting ready for a good shave ski in some other areas, and then he pulled out his lawnmower, dropped it in the sink. But guess what?
I dropped mine in the toilet before.
That's
Because I shave over the toilet.
Yeah.
I'm not tall enough to shave over the
That's
sink.
very unfortunate. But regardless, Johnny was very happy because the Lawnmower 4.0 still functioned very well.
Oh, yeah.
And because of the lawnmower and Manscaped, he was able to function to the point where he created a child. So, I mean, listen, if you're out there and you're thinking to yourself, I'm a man who's having a hard time procreating. How can I fix that? Don't look into Blue Chew. We don't get any money from fucking Blue Chew. All right? And also, I haven't even used Blue Chew. All right? So I don't even know how good it works.
I'm not talking about it.
I'm not going to talk about it. Fuck Blue Chew. But you know what?
I've used it.
You don't talk about Blue Chew. But thank you, Manscaped. Because of you, not only is Johnny Gargano becoming a father, but I'm becoming an uncle. And that's because of your fine grooming products. And if you're a man out there that wants to make your balls completely satisfied as well as your mate, because over 70% of mates prefer a groomed man, you're going to want to invest in the Lawnmower 4.0 and the Performance Package. And you can do that by going to manscaped.com. And guess what? We're going to save you 20% and get your free shipping. All you got to do is use a promo code. Aaron, do you know what the promo code is?
I'm going to guess pardon.
The promo code is, in fact, pardon, P-A-R-D-O-N. Promo code pardon. Use that. Get free shipping and 20% off. We'll thank you because it supports the show, but also your balls will thank you. And Johnny Gargano, his future child, will thank you as well.
That is a romantic story.
I'm getting a little choked up.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Well, there won't be any hair in that choking.
That's a good thing. That's a very good thing. Hey, but also before we go to the interview, I think it's important to point out that we did mention we have a brand new exclusive T-shirt design for Patreon-only members.
Yeah.
$20 and up. You know who created that design?
I would have to say that it is my good buddy, Juan.
How do you say that?
Juan. Stop.
What?
That's COVID and stuff. You're coughing right in my face.
Sorry. Juan Ortiz?
Of the Ortiz.
That's not his name.
Of the is his middle name.
No, Of the Dead Designs.
It's a Mexican middle name, popular from those who have come from Tecula, Mexico.
All right. Of the Dead Designs, though, is the name of the company. Juan Ortiz, you may not know the name, but you probably know his designs. Let me tell you, Juan is a one-man merch design company.
He's a one-man merch design.
Oh, I see what you did there. He's got merch that he's created for wrestlers in all of the major organizations. I'm talking WWE, AEW, Ring of Honor, Impact, New Japan, Pro Wrestling. And he also creates designs for competitive prices that can help you get more merch. And look, if you're not trying to sell merch and you just want a design for a family, friend, loved one, Of the Dead Designs and Juan Ortiz can draw you anything you'd like. All you got to do is hit him up and listen. He's got 15 years of experience, and he's looking to help create designs for the modern man, but also the superstars of not just today, but tomorrow. Yeah, he's created stuff for guys like Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair, the Young Bucks and Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, and so many other names, but he wants to create designs for you. And you know what? You tell him that you heard about this ad on Iron On Wrestling, and you're going to save $10 on your first design. That's right, $10. He's going to knock it off the price of the first thing that you get from Of the Dead Designs and Juan Ortiz. He's got openings throughout 2021, so you got to act fast. I need you to contact Of the Dead Designs right now on Instagram at OfTheDead209, on Facebook at facebook.com/OfTheDeadDesigns, or go to his website, ofthedead.weebly.com. Juan is your man. He's our man, but he could be yours too. Of the Dead Designs, bringing artwork to life.
Well, he's not only our friend. He's my good buddy.
Does he ever say that he's your good buddy?
He changed his Twitter name.
You make a good point when you say that.
Yeah.
Wow.
And also, unlike my partner here, Greg, Juan can draw.
Wait, okay.
You can draw. Let me ask you right now, can you draw a house?
I see what you're doing here. You're not mocking my drawing ability.
No,
as
you're
far
a
as
fine artist.
An artist, but as a performer.
Yeah,
to
you
spell
never
it
sold
out
a
here.
ticket.
Yeah, no one's ever bought a ticket to see me. Well, I'll have you know that the first time I wrestled, I sold 18 tickets, my friend.
For people to see other people. People were like, hey, is that Basket Nazi going to wrestle on the show?
Okay, I did wrestle
Is
the Basket
Kid Copperpot on the event?
He was not on the event, but you know what? Moving on, we got to go to the interview. Johnny Gargano. He's back. I believe this is his 4th time on the podcast. That's a record.
And he's nicely groomed.
He is now.
Thanks to you.
Don't ask him. Just listen to the ad that we did. He's definitely finely groomed. But we're going to go to one more ad from our good friend Jesse Massey. When we come back, the interview from Daddy Gargano.
That's creepy.
Yeah, is it?
I don't like it at all.
Oh, okay.
I'm uncomfortable.
Moving on. Let's go. We will return to the Iron on Wrestling podcast in just a moment, but I wanted to take a couple minutes of this time to let you guys know that if you didn't realize it already, Iron on Wrestling is a DIY project. That's right, I'm recording all this myself, I'm editing it in-house all by myself, I'm coming up with the segments and the content, and I'm making sure that each and every Wednesday, by investing countless hours of my personal time, you guys have a new, unique, and entertaining episode blasting into your ear holes. So I hope you don't mind that for a few minutes each episode, you have to deal with a little bit of advertising. Because, quite frankly, I gotta pay those bills somehow. But you know, I don't just pick anyone to be an advertiser on the podcast. When I choose an advertiser for the show, I want to make sure that it's someone that can bring you, the listener, value. I often talk about Of the Dead Designs and my good buddy Juan Ortiz, who can create you a unique logo or t-shirt design for your personal brand. But once that t-shirt design is made, who's going to print it for you? Well, that's where Jesse Massey and SBS Printing comes in. Jesse is a good friend of mine, and much like me in this podcast, he's DIY. For over 10 years, Jesse has been printing t-shirts and hoodies in the comfort of his own home, and he's been the official t-shirt printer for guys like myself, Atticus Cogar, Eddie Only, Ricky Shane Page, basically all the 440 guys. My favorite thing about Jesse Massey is the quick turnaround time. When I go to Jesse and I need a shirt design printed right away, I know that he'll have it ready for me within 3 to 5 days, sometimes even quicker. And on top of that, he's affordable. Jesse and SBS can print one color shirt designs for as low as $5. $5. Where are you going to find another deal like that? Now you're probably thinking at a price like that, there's no way these could be quality, long-lasting prints. Wrong! They're super high quality and they're going to last you a lifetime. Jesse and SBS can print you t-shirts, zip-up hoodies, sweaters, and so much more. I encourage you to hit up Jesse right now. Shoot him an email at antisepticmaxrock@gmail.com. That's ANTISEPTIC maxrock@gmail.com. With Jesse Massey and SBS, you're going to get the best. That's no BS. Okay, we do this pretty much once a year at this point. It's just after his birthday. Johnny Gargano, thank you for joining me.
Hi.
How's everything?
It's good.
Thank
I'm
you.
gonna give one word answers on this podcast.
Okay. How's life?
Good.
How's the whole baby thing?
Good.
Cool. So let's delve right into that part, because that's a big thing that's happening for you right now. The whole Johnny Gargano becoming a father.
Yeah, Dad.
How exactly does
Did it happen?
go?
How does it happen?
Well, I think I know how it happens.
Yeah.
If you want to explain to the audience how babies are made, you can do that.
Well, when a man loves a woman very much,
Keep going.
I'm gonna let the imagination run wild there, so you can do with that what you want.
All right. Now, when you were little and you were discovering childbirth.
Uh-huh.
My mom told me that babies came out of the belly button. Did your mom ever tell you any fibs like that?
Did my mom say that babies came out of a belly button? No, she did
Yeah.
not say that babies came out of a belly button, because that is absolutely ridiculous.
Well, I don't think my mom wanted to tell me that they come out.
You could have came up with a better lie. That's not even a good lie.
What would be a better lie?
Stork brings them.
Well, I mean, that's pretty good.
I don't think there was one. I don't know if I ever really wanted to know how babies were made when I was little. That wasn't something that I was like, how are babies made? Or there was never a conversation like that, because it just never crossed my mind, I guess, when I was a baby or a child. But I think I learned in school. Like, I don't know, maybe fourth grade is when I learned that how babies are made.
How does that come about?
In a class. Like, we had a class that taught us how babies were made.
In fourth grade?
I think so, yeah. If I'm like remembering correctly. I think I'm remembering buildings, but I think like fourth grade is when I found out. I don't know what age that puts me at, but I also went to like a Catholic grade school.
Yeah.
That like taught things like that, I guess. But we learned about reproductive organs and how babies are made and all that stuff. When I think so, whatever age I was in fourth grade is when I learned.
Okay, well, I remember in middle school, we end up learning about that. But what's burned in my brain, and I don't know if you had to go through this, they actually showed us the video of like a woman giving birth, which was horrifying. Did you ever have to watch anything like that in school?
I want to say I did. I remember there was like all this like build to that video. I don't know why. I don't know if there was like a TV show or now my memory's all getting crossed, because I think there was like a movie that showed a birth that like everyone was like, why is this what it looks like? But I don't remember if that was like adult me remembering this or baby me remembering this. Okay. But I remember them building up to this video like you're going to see the childbirth. But maybe I wasn't there that day. I mean, I don't remember actually sitting there and watching it. I just remember the aura around this video and how it was going to see. And for the record, I am not going to look when my child is born. Me and Candace already discussed this. I'm not going to look.
Are you going to be in the room?
Yes, I will be in the room.
Okay. Well, let's talk about the whole baby situation. This was obviously something you guys planned.
Yes.
So what was the thought process behind it? Because, I mean, obviously I know you and Candace personally, and I know a child is something you guys have wanted for a long time. What made now the right time to have a baby?
Just felt like that's where life was headed, Now we have a house, we have a puppy. I think it felt like the next logical step. And obviously, Candace was concerned about her age. And as everyone knows, you only get older. So it felt like the right time to do that for both of us. And it's at a point where sitting down and talking to Candace about this, like, I still have my mom and dad. She still has her mom and dad. We want to have a kid to where they'll be able to remember their grandparents and have memories with their grandparents. You never know what can happen. You never know what life brings. But that was really important to us. And because like when I was younger, I didn't know I didn't know my grandfathers. I only knew my grandmas, and I only had them until like I was 3 years old. So I don't have any memories with them. Candace luckily has her grandparents still, or her grandfather still. So it was really important for us to be able to have a child to where they'll be able to, be with our grandparents and be with my mom and dad and her mom and dad and be able to enjoy family time. So that was really one of the big deciding factors. But yeah, I think that's really, I think what it comes down to is we just wanted to be able to have memories that we can remember for a long time. And yeah, I mean, that's the short of it, I guess. And it's my long-winded answer.
No, that's fine. It actually brings up a thought in my brain that I never really thought about. I guess, I never talked to you about the not really having grandparents in your life situation, because for me, grandparents were so important, and I think they're important for a lot of people. So it's cool that you want that a part of your child's life. But for you, I guess it probably isn't a big deal, but do you feel like you missed out on something not having the grandparent experience as a kid?
Oh yeah. I mean, Candace talks about that all the time, how she feels bad that I didn't get a chance to do that. Like I said, I didn't know any of my grandfathers. I was around my grandmoms for, I guess, a couple years. My biggest memory of my grandmom on my dad's side is she bought me the Ninja Turtles playset that my parents said I couldn't have, but like she had used to work at my dad's, used to run my dad's restaurant, so she had a desk, and she told me to go crawl underneath the desk. And when I crawled underneath the desk, the playset was underneath the desk. The sewer playset was underneath the desk. So that was like my biggest memory of that grandma. And my other grandma, I was around much longer, I guess a couple more years, but like I still I don't have many memories of those two. So that kind of sucks for me, I guess. But like I said, it was important for us. And my dad is 80 years, turning 80 this year, turning 80 in February. And it's also wild that the baby is going to be born in February around my dad's birthday. Yeah. So it's cool how it worked out.
What's the official due date?
February 18th, give or take.
Yeah.
So I was early. So I was an early baby. You can talk to my mom about that whenever you have her on the podcast.
Sure.
But yeah. So, and it's funny because my dad says his birthday is February 14th. I'm sure we might have discussed this on the podcast already. My dad says his birthday is February 14th on Valentine's Day.
We've never talked about this.
Because he's a Casanova and he's a ladies' man. But his actual birthday is like February 16th. We found out when he had heart surgery a couple years ago. We saw his birth certificate and we saw his actual birthday.
Wait.
So he just lied.
That makes it even better.
Forever. Lied to me.
Wait, you didn't know that his birthday wasn't on February 14th?
There was like rumors. There was rumors. Like we didn't have any confirmation.
What?
Well, we didn't know. Like there was no way. He would always say, my birthday is Valentine's Day. That was what he would always say. But we were like, that doesn't seem right because we heard. Like I said, I think about my dad as kind of a mystery. Yeah. The amount of children he has and all that stuff. But until recently, until he had his heart surgery, we saw his actual birthday. It's February 16th. So 2 days after what we've been celebrating his birthday basically my whole life. But the baby is due September 18th, but it could be anywhere in that range where it's earlier. So the baby could actually be born on Valentine's Day. We don't know. So we'll find out.
All right. Well, I definitely want to talk more about this baby thing, but now you just open up a whole other can of worms. So like when I first met you and became friends, like you really didn't have any siblings in your life. Now you have your brother that you spend time with. You brought up, you don't know how many kids that your dad might have. How many siblings do you know that you have?
I think 4 is the number I think right now. That last I heard 4. We have Nick, who's the brother I'm closest to, the half brother I'm closest to. Yeah. I believe there's another John somewhere.
Why would there be 2 Johns?
There's 2 Johns. I believe I'm the second John. I think, or a second Frank. There's a Frank and a John and a Nick and a me and a someone else. I think. I don't know. All boys though. So that's all I really know.
So random. So
I think another John. I'm not sure. Again, no confirmation on any of this. I just know Nick for sure.
Your dad's name is Frank, so it makes more sense.
I think there is a Frank Jr.
Yeah, that makes more sense because if you name a kid the same kid John or a different brother, it's weird.
So I believe there might be another Frank. I think there's another Frank, then Nick, then me, John, and then someone else from what I know.
All right.
Only met one of them though.
So what is it like with your brother Nick connecting with him so late in life? Really, like the first time you really did you meet him when you were younger or wasn't?
Yeah. Okay. No, I've known him for a long time, but we just didn't really. It was one of those weird things where like we just never we weren't adults, so obviously it was just we never really spent time together together. So obviously later on in life now, being able to go to his wedding and spend time with his kids because his kids watch wrestling all the time. So they're his youngest is a huge fan, so that's awesome. Yeah. That I'm able to kind of share that with him, and it's just nice to have another family member, I guess, because my side of the family isn't very big. It's basically like you said, I'm an only child, and as far as I have some cousins, but I'm not really close to anybody in my family. I still talk to them. I think we're Facebook friends or something, but we aren't really in communication all the time. So I guess it's just nice to have another member of my family that I can kind of talk to.
Did you feel like when you started to connect with Nick later on in life, was the connection sort of instant? Do you really feel like it was like a brotherhood right off the bat? Because knowing you personally, you don't really associate with outside of wrestling a lot of people. You have a close knit circle of friends. So to kind of let Nick in that circle and be a part of his life and him be a part of yours, did it just feel natural?
Yeah, I mean, he's way more outgoing than I am. But so we both have very similar traits, like from my dad. My dad and Nick are extroverts. I am very much so an introvert. I don't, like you said, I don't really talk to anybody or, like go outside of my circle to communicate with people. But I did feel an instant, connection with him, just from, I guess, being able to razz on my dad, because like a lot of people don't get a chance to do that. So our bond over basically making fun of my father is what brought us closer together.
So what are the jokes on your dad? Because if you listen to the podcast, everyone knows that I read.
I know. I've listened to your podcast many times with your dad. It's way different than that.
I can imagine, but like when
yours is a little bit more mean spirited.
Oh, come on. It's
a little more mean spirited. Yeah, it's a little more mean spirited.
How so?
Your relationship with your dad is a little more volatile than my relationship with my father.
I feel like that's my dad's fault.
It could be. I mean, sure. I'm not a psychiatrist, but sure.
So I just had this conversation with your mom because she was saying you shouldn't make fun of your dad the way you do. And I say, I'm not making fun of him. The thing is, like, my dad literally called me a couple weeks ago and said, Greg, if you want to have a normal conversation with me, you need to stop making fun of me, especially on your podcast. I said, Dad, in life, you make fun of me all the time. The problem is I make fun of you better, and that's why you get mad. I mean, I think I do this in love. I don't think it's mean-spirited at all.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
Come on, man.
I mean, I don't know.
All right, jokes on your dad. What do those look like?
I mean, it just goes... I'm trying to think of one in particular, because it's just more situational jokes than anything.
Yeah.
But, I mean, just basically like him looking at a picture of me with my shirt off and him being like, well, I used to have abs like that. Like, he didn't. I've seen pictures of him. He didn't. Basically things like that, like him signing up for Planet Fitness and like, babe, I'm going to go work out. I'm like, you're never going to go work out, like, ever.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm going to go tanning and stuff like that. I'm like, that's never going to happen. And obviously it never does happen. He hasn't gone work. He only worked out at Planet Fitness once, and that was with me. I took him there and worked out with him. I mean, it basically comes down to basically all of his stories that he tells, and it's more situational humor.
Yeah,
sometimes it's not going to translate if you don't know my father.
Well, I think it's like the unintentional hilarity that comes along with it. Like the one that always springs to mind for me is the one time you had to tell him what your email was.
Oh yeah, you can tell that story. You like that better than it's your favorite go-to story. Anytime we meet anyone, I guess, is when you tell this story. So
because I was there for it. So I mean, it was funny to me because like you had to tell your dad your email and it was at hotmail.com. Mm-hmm. So your dad's reaction being an older gentleman, he goes, oh, hot male, huh? You think you're a hot male. So he really didn't get the concept of it being M-A-I-L as opposed to thinking that you thought you were a hot M-A-L-E.
Mm-hmm.
Just, that's your dad.
Yeah, that is my dad.
Ridiculous.
That's my father.
So let's talk about the baby some more. So the process of having a baby while working in WWE, is that something you have to tell Hunter and Sean about as you're planning to do this? Because obviously over the last year, they've had a lot invested, that being Hunter, Sean, NXT, in you, Candace, Indi, and of course, Austin, The Way. Is that something you guys got to give them a heads up about?
I mean, it's something that it is our choice, and they were very adamant that it is our choice whenever we want to have a child. Like they're fully supportive of it. We, of course, want to be good, respectable people, and we kind of wanted to keep them in the loop. So we did keep them like in on the inside of like, oh, maybe we're going to start trying now. We're going to potentially start doing this here. And like I said, they're very supportive, and they decided, whenever we have the baby, whenever we want to have the baby, just let them know. Like, all good. They support us 110% no matter what, which is, it's always great to have because you just never know, given your work environment, how wrestling goes or whatnot, and with plans in place. But like we have such a great relationship with those two, a great relationship with everyone in NXT in general, that they were super supportive and beyond thrilled when we told them that it was happening. So it's cool to be able to get that support from not only people that we work with, but also people we respect. And it's just wild to tell myself now, and even Candace, like for me and Candace to be able to look back and be like, hey, one of the first 2 people we told about us being pregnant was Triple H and Shawn Michaels. Like, that's wild. We're gonna be able to tell our child that one day. Like, hey, the first 2 people that knew about you was D-Generation X.
It's such a weird thing. So not counting DX, once you announce that you're officially having a baby on social media, obviously you got a lot of positive feedback. What were some of the most surreal congratulations that you received on social media?
Like I said, it's so hard to pinpoint just one. Like, I feel like almost everyone reached out that I could think of. Everyone I figured would reach out. Everyone we're close to reached out, of course. There's also like the random ones that reached out. Like I told you, like Lex Luger liking the tweet that the baby was coming, which I was like, that's a wild one. Like I didn't see that one coming.
Yeah.
But I mean, like you can go in my Instagram post and just look at the comments. Like it's so wild, and I don't know. It's so wild to see like this overwhelming support for us, and like the amount of likes and stuff. It was such an overwhelming amount of things that day from just everyone in the wrestling business. It's just so cool. Like there's so much negativity like on social media. It's just so cool to see like everyone come together and be nice about something.
Yeah, your post on social media got a lot of engagement. And with that being said, do you think in the future you're going to have more babies just so that you have something cool to post on social media that will get a lot of positive reinforcement?
Just depends on what this baby is. It depends on the sex of the child.
Oh, okay. Why is that a situation?
Well, I, of course, being a boy, always want like a boy. I want to take care of a little boy and, like have him follow in my footsteps. And I'd say a girl can't follow in my footsteps as well. Like I think a girl would be great as well. But obviously I'm impartial that I want a boy.
Yeah.
I think if you're all guys, they want a little son to kind of be their little mini me. So I guess it would depend. If we have a girl this go around, I'm still going to be searching for that boy, which is dangerous because then like another girl could pop out and I'm like, oh, well, I essentially have 4 girls in the house compared to my 1 me. So again, we'll see how it goes. But
do you have any names in mind?
I do, but I'm not really willing to share them yet because I feel like the baby's not out yet. Mm-hmm. And potentially if someone has a baby before me, they could steal it.
That's fair.
That's why we haven't said anything.
I gotcha. All right. Yeah. Well, at least you have something in mind, though, for both a boy and a girl?
Yes.
I know you told me the boy one. Did you tell me the girl one?
I probably did. Maybe. I did. I believe I did.
All right.
I sang a song about it.
All right. We'll have to talk about it off air.
Yeah.
So transitioning though a little bit, so becoming a dad in real life.
Mm-hmm.
Before we segue with I just want to tell you here, congratulations, obviously. And,
hey, thanks. I'm professionally, I guess. Thanks.
Professionally on that level, but like personally, I feel like my reaction didn't do the announcement.
It didn't. Yeah, you're one of the worst. Yeah, you blew it.
Because like it's funny because I'm a very emotional guy, but sometimes in those highly emotional moments, I don't know how to react right away. I'm not like a jump up and down guy or anything like that. So like, but inside, like it got me more emotional than I thought was possible for something like that. Because I'm sure you've had that experience in life where someone you're sort of close to is like, oh, I'm having a baby. And you're like, oh, congratulations. Like, that's cool. Like, you're happy for him. But there was something like, and I was telling it to Nicole, there was something about you saying that, like, after I was walking to a car, I was like overly emotional about it. And she was like, well, Johnny's like your brother. And I said, yeah, but I think if like any of my brothers would be having a child, I wouldn't feel this happy about it. Like it was like, so I'm really happy and excited for this whole thing. And I just can't wait to be a part of the experience. But
yeah, it's very stressful.
I'm sure it is. Well, what's been going on as far as the work with the baby currently?
I mean, my work is done. Like I pretty much did my job. Like I did my job.
You planted the seed. Yes.
Yeah. So I have nothing else really to do with this one, which makes that the most stressful part.
Yeah.
I have no control over anything anymore. And I'm So when I'm sitting back and I'm like looking at the ultrasound and stuff like that, it's supposed to be like a happy moment because you're seeing the baby on the monitor, and like that's how they view it. They show it on TV and things like that. As they show like, oh, like you're seeing the baby for the first time and they're so happy. Like it's stressful because you're like, okay, what's this baby look like? Okay, like you're seeing hands and you're seeing feet. And you're like, okay, does it have? You're trying to like look and like it's a very distilled picture, so you can't really see that much. You're like, okay, does it got a foot? Does it got a hand? Like to make sure that like everything is in place, everything looks good. Then they got to measure it to make sure it's a certain size. A heartbeat's got to be a certain amount. Like it's very, very stressful because obviously we have no control anymore. It's just kind of growing in there.
Sure.
But yeah, that's the stressful part. It's not as joyous as people make it out to be. I mean, it's super pumped to see it. It's great, but also it's like, oh my God, like I hope it's okay.
Everything's gonna be fine. But being a dad in real life is a cool thing. But something that you've sort of been doing on air for the last year in NXT is being a father figure to both Austin Theory and Indi Hartwell. Talk to me about how the relationship has grown with them over the last year as being a part of the way.
Yeah, like it kind of is like they are like our real life kids, and it's funny that like now like what everyone thought the group was going to be. Like, I'm just talking about everyone in general thought the group was going to be like this kind of serious like sort of faction, and it kind of just evolved into like this 90s sitcom family. And like Austin and Indi were two people that I saw had a tremendous potential, tremendous upside. And I just wanted to give them a stage and a platform to be able to show their talents and kind of open up and be a little bit more confident, show their charisma a bit because they have such comedic timing that people don't even know about. And people are seeing it now with Indi. People saw it with Austin as well. They just bring so much to the table other than just in-ring work. So it's just super cool to be able to work with them and also grow with them and kind of help them out because we do kind of view them as our kids now in real life where we kind of watch over them. And as we're recording this, Indi's birthday is tomorrow. So Candace is downstairs right now baking cake for Indi as we're like in real life, not even for TV purposes, just to give Indi because we love her that much.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you talked about how everyone thought the group was going to be this serious thing. I don't know if we talked about this last time. Tell me about the original pitch for you to get the group to actually form. And I guess if you could follow that up with, were there any other potential candidates to be in the group?
Yeah. I mean, the original pitch was always kind of in an evolution sort of light where we would kind of mold Austin and Indi as the future, as the Dave Bautista and Randy Orton of the group, the future stars, as it will, of the group. Like, there were a lot of names thrown around, but like I specifically wanted Austin. I wanted him a long time ago, even since once we worked together at Evolve. And then Indi was another person me and Candace both wanted, just because we just saw something special in her, like just talking to her and like hanging out with her a bit. Like we just knew there was something there. And just looks wise, we felt it fit what we were going for. So Austin and Indi were always the two kind of main components of the group.
Yeah, and I think it's worked out for the best. And it obviously the whole family aspect of the group wasn't planned, but I feel like, and I know you said in the past that we're getting the realest version of Johnny Gargano on NXT. How does it feel to be able to portray basically the what I think is the best part of you for everybody to see?
Yeah, you're just getting the real me now on TV, which again is horrifying to say because people think like I'm just playing a character, but again, a lot of what you see on television, a lot of the little bits, a lot of whatever I say, basically a lot of my verbiage is just me being goofy because that's just how I am in real life. Like that whole me dressing as a waiter and putting on the wig and the fake mustache and saying my name was John Paul.
Yeah.
And some of it actually didn't even make the cut. I said a lot more because it was kind of a fast bit. I said I've been to waiting school for years in Italy. Luckily they caught the I'll show you my waiting license line. Obviously John Paul was a very specific name choice.
Of course.
I didn't go fully with Jean Paul Levesque, but I mean, you got it if you got it. Trying to think of other things that potentially were in that segment. There were a lot of little things. I think I do my best work comedy wise when you just kind of wind me up and let me go, and I'm just very improv-y and off the cuff. And obviously that's when it's way more fun because it's more organic that way. Then my good test, and I taught Indi this too, was like if you say something in rehearsal and people laugh at it, probably a good chance people will laugh at it in real life too. So you probably should just do that. And that's normally kind of how I do things. That's how all of my stuff has developed over the past year now, because I just randomly say things and people laugh or don't laugh. And I know whether to say that or not.
Yeah. Sometimes in wrestling, I mean, this applies to other aspects of performance art, but it's like you just got to try things and see what sticks, because you never know what fans are going to latch on to. But I'm happy that the fans have really latched on to this group and your character. But it's like, are there any bits or segments that you had planned or wanted to do over the past year with the guys that never made it to air that you thought would have really added to the story, or at least been a hilarious moment?
I mean, there was a moment there where Austin got kidnapped by Dexter Loomis that I really wanted to go all in on and kind of do the Taken bit where I did it, but I wanted to even do it even more because Austin was only gone for a few days. If he was going to be gone for longer, I really wanted to kind of become like a detective and try to hunt him down and try to track him down and find him. Me and Indi were going to be good cop and bad cop and kind of question people and things like that. So I thought that would have been really fun. That's the first one that came into my mind as potential. We would have been able to do that one, but me and Indi as good cop, bad cop, I think would have been really fun.
Yeah. Finally, after the longest time, I think for a long time, Candace was just sort of pegged as Johnny Gargano's wife when she first debuted in NXT. And for those that didn't know Candace's backstory on the Indies, I thought, man, you're really missing out, because Candace is one of the best wrestlers in general that I've ever been in the ring with. But also when it comes to psychology and making things make sense, Candace just goes above and beyond most people that I've ever stepped in the ring with. And so when she sort of made that transition and stopped being, for some, Johnny Gargano's wife and started becoming Candice LeRae in NXT, I was happy for her. I know you were happy for her. And I can't imagine the feeling that you had when she became the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. Talk to me about the build to that moment for Candace and what it meant for you and maybe what it meant for her.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of those things too where if it was up to Candace, we would have had a baby probably a long time ago. But I kind of had to keep, I kind of had to keep telling her, no, you deserve so much more. You deserve to at least have a title in this company, be a champion in this company. Not that it validates you, but titles are what they are. But for someone like her who's been wrestling for almost 20 years, I want her to be able to look back on everything she'd done, everything she provided to what we do. She was so influential, not just on the Indies, but I feel for today, she's so influential for not just little girls, but kids all over the world who want to do this. She's such an inspiration that I wanted her to be able to look back at her career and be I'm proud of what I've done. And I felt I so badly just wanted her to win a title in WWE because I felt like she deserved it so much. And like I said, say what you want about titles, but for someone who grew up watching this company, grew up wanting to be a part of this company, to hold a title in this company is just a different sort of validation, a different sort of pride to be able to look back and I did that. I'm so proud I did that. So I kept having to tell her no, I know it's coming. I believe it's coming. Just hold out a little bit longer. And luckily, she was able to it sucked. It took that long, but she was able to share that moment with Indi, who I already talked about, someone we love very much and someone we believe in. So it made it even better that she was able to win that title with Indi and have that moment with her. But I think Candace even knew at that point, okay, once that title came, it's time to move on to a different part of her life that she was really looking forward to and something she wanted for a very, very long time. Something she wanted probably even more than a title. She wanted to be a mom. And I'm just super pumped that she was able to have that run with Indi. And now she's able to I don't want to say right off in the sunset because she's, I don't know, don't want to say she's coming back, but I mean, I think she might be coming back at least for one or two or three. I don't think she's done either. She's done this for 20 years. It's in her blood. It's something she loves, something she always will want to do. And honestly, like, I think that's a different kind of thing too, to where like our child one day is hopefully going to be able to see Candace wrestle, be able to see me wrestle, and we'll get to share that experience with our new baby too, of being like, hey, here's what mom and dad do. Like, it's pretty cool. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like I said, like, I'm super pumped and super proud of her, whether she won the title or not. But like, deal to get that title run and have it, and something she can look back on for years to come and be like, man, like, I'm super proud of that thing I did. I'm glad everything worked out.
What's your favorite pro wrestling moment with Candace that involves you as well?
Oh man. So it's weird, but I'm going to say favorite pro wrestling moment might have been me and Candace's match in AIW. Just because that was the day she met my dad. Like, after the match is when she met my dad for the first time. Yeah. And like her cousin came to town for it. Like, it was kind of a big deal for all of us to kind of see one another. But like, that's one of my favorite matches we had. Obviously our match in PWG too. That was the first time we worked together, was in Bola. And like, having the match, I think people kind of knew we were dating too at the time, so it kind of made it fun. Those are two of my favorite moments with Candace. Obviously now being able to work with her side by side in WWE and like do this kind of funny stuff we're able to do now, that's always great. But like, looking back on it, like, I think that like being able to have that match with her in AIW and PWG are my favorite moments.
Can we talk about toys?
Yeah, sure.
So when Matt Cardona and Brian Myers left WWE, there was sort of a void in the, I guess, spokesman department for the toy division. And that's something that sort of ended up going to you and Candace. As an adult man that loves toys and has loved wrestling action figures your entire life, what does it mean to be one of the spokespeople for the toy line and Mattel?
Yeah, it's wild, man. Like I said, I remember back in the day just going to my local Toys R Us with my mom and like waiting for, like, looking at the shelves and trying to figure out like if they had the figure I wanted in stock, and like having to go up to a guy and having the guy have to go in the back and pull out a box and look through the box and things like that. And now like Mattel just sends boxes to my house for these videos and whatnot that I film. But it's freaking cool, man. It's the best part of the gig, honestly, being able to kind of be the spokesman for Mattel and preview these figures, because they do some amazing work. Like, I was sending you pictures too of the stuff we were talking about for San Diego Comic-Con and some of the stuff coming out soon. And that freaking new generation arena that got backed. It's amazing.
It looks so awesome, man. Yeah. Like, I'm happy that I got backed, because there was concern right off the bat that it was too expensive. I'm sure you're reading some of the stuff online.
Yeah. And I backed it myself. Like, people think like, oh, like he just works for the company and he gets all this stuff for free. No, I backed the new generation arena. I still do buy stuff too. I do get some stuff, but I also do buy stuff still. I backed the new generation arena. Like, when I backed it too, I looked at Candace. I was like, man, like, this is my rationale for things now. I'm like, well, like, the baby's going to need like its first ring, and it's a pretty cool first ring to have.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild. It has boards and stuff like that. So can learn to put together a ring real early in its career, really early in its life.
Come on. So you're not really going to let the kid play with that ring, right?
I probably will. Yeah.
Dude.
Why?
That's going to get destroyed.
I mean, it'll be fine. The baby will be fine with it. He'll understand.
It's got too many pieces, man.
Yeah, she'll be fine. He or she will be fine. It'll be fine.
You said she first, though.
I said he or she. I said he the first time, though, so I backed it up. I doubled down. All right, I said he first, and I said she, so I'm covering both bases.
But come on, you know that ring will get messed up, though. I mean, because like even as much as we loved wrestling figures as kids, there had to be some.
Yeah, I killed my ring. Yeah, I absolutely scuffed it up. Yeah, it was horrible.
So knowing that, why would you put that ultra rare, probably collector's item ring in the hands of a baby?
Because my baby deserves it.
Okay, that's
gonna be fine.
What, besides the new generation ring, what have been your favorite figures to come out since you've been a part of the line?
Oh, I mean, when we revealed that Goon figure, I sent you a picture of that. That Goon figure.
Look, the Goon is random, but it's too ripped, man. It's too jacked.
Look, it's fine. You put the hockey jersey over. It's not gonna be shirtless.
Still, what if you want to take the shirt? What if someone wants to get into a hockey fight scenario with him?
Then the Goon's been on keto. The Goon's been keto dieting.
Why keto?
I don't know. It's the first thing I thought of.
All right. What else? What else you been into?
The Goon figure obviously looks amazing. I'm trying to think about the reveals we've had. Obviously, I biased to the new Candace figure that's out.
Is that out right now?
Yeah, we have a whole box of them downstairs. Great. That's great. I just recorded a thing for an Amazon live stream that'll be out soon, I believe. That's me at my most improviest. So so get ready for that. It's wild.
Oh, boy.
I go off the rails big time. I think of other things that are out soonish. I don't know. There's so much good stuff coming out, man. Like they're just perpetually putting out hits. Mattel's killing it.
Well, let me ask you this. So I don't think anyone could have ever guessed. Like when you sent me the Goon figure before, you had me guess what it was, and when you sent it to me, I was like, "There's no way I would have ever guessed that." Is there a figure that you would like to see Mattel come out with that probably nobody imagines they'll ever get a wrestling figure of?
So I brought this to the Mattel people, and I was like, "Hey, why don't we have this yet?" I don't know why. I really want a Mortis.
Okay.
I think Mortis is a cool looking. I think he's toyetic as F.
Yeah.
And I think that figure would look freaking wild, especially the stuff he can come with.
Yeah.
You can get that. Like you can even get a 3-pack. You get Mortis, get Wrath, and Glacier.
Yeah.
You get that 3-pack. Freaking wild. It'd be great. So that's my pie in the sky. That's what I pitched to Mattel. That's my job.
It's perfect timing because they just came out with the new Mortal Kombat movie, and basically all those characters were Mortal Kombat tie-ins, which I think like they're cool in retrospect, but I think at the time they were being revealed with the realism of the NWO, maybe not the best timing for those characters, but looking back, they're still pretty iconic characters, and I think maybe they deserve a figure. Also,
selfishly, now that we have like the retro line coming back, I really want, again, selfishly, a little retro figure. That's again selfish, but that's what I really want as well.
Well, so I love those retro figures, and I really fell behind on them. Like when they were first coming out, I was getting all of them. So I probably have the first couple series, but I'm really lacking. And then, of course, the market value went up on all of those. So I think the last one I picked up because it was cheap, I saw it at Comic-Con for like $10. It was Braun Strowman, but I'm really behind on those. But have you seen the figures that are sort of like the retro figures created by, I think,
Zombie Sailor? Zombie Sailor. Yeah. They look great. They look good.
Did you see the ultra rare figure that they just released?
Trying to think now because I see it on Instagram all the time.
I'll give you a hint. It was one of the unreleased Hasbro's from '95, right before.
Oh, the Jeff Jarrett?
The Jeff Jarrett,
yeah.
Did you pick one up?
I did not, but I have seen it.
Have you picked up any of them?
Not yet. No.
Do you think you will?
I don't know. Maybe eventually. I'm one of those people that like. That's why like I need like a deadline on things. Like that's why the New Generation Arena like backing thing was perfect for me.
Yeah.
Because I have serious FOMO, so I was really scared of missing out. Especially like when they announced that Macho Man figure too, and I think someone did the math to where like there's only going to be 8,000 of those Macho Man figures basically released.
Yeah.
Which makes it like really rare, like super duper rare.
And I think that's what sold it for a lot of people. Once they included Macho Man,
yes,
I think people were like, okay, I got to buy this now.
And he was even saying like, too, they learned their lesson where they kind of need like one like Macho Man level figure to go along with it to get people to be like, oh yeah, I definitely need this right off the rip.
Yeah. Here's something that I want to ask about the New Generation ring. Obviously, the main figure that comes with it is Diesel. Diesel was quite the face of the New Generation. We all know now that the New Generation ring got back, but do you think it would have sold faster if perhaps maybe Diesel would have been replaced with, let's say, a Bret Hart? Because you can argue that Bret Hart was probably more the face of the New Generation.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I'm trying to think if there is a Bret Hart Ultimate figure already, though.
I don't know offhand.
I'm not sure either.
I think there was some argument online that the Diesel wasn't too different than whatever the last Diesel was that they released, except for it's got like doesn't have like a removable jacket.
Oh, really? Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
But regardless, it's cool, and it's cool that you're part of the toy line and dream come true. And it's always cool to come over and see all your figures. And actually, for the people watching on video, can we see some of your figures? You're sitting.
Oh yeah, but like it's funny to say this, but it's also not like. So it's my figures, but it's also not wrestling figures.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
I mean, there are some wrestling figures, yes, but
here we go. All
so
right.
I'm gonna move the camera as I can see here.
Yeah, so we could see the Hasbros. You got all the Hasbros.
Hasbros are there. Also, all the Spider-Man animated series, the full collection of that. Also the Daily Bugle play set down there. And then you have like I'm turning it all the way around.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's so much. All the
it's
Power
it's not even
stuff.
everything. It's not even everything.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff.
The daily.
I gotta buy a new house just to fill up all my toy stuff.
I'm sure. Yeah. I think we've talked about this before, but the Daily Bugle playset, that actually, did you get that in the box?
Yes.
Okay. Did it come with the little ooze?
You got the
slime thing?
bone crunching action guys too.
Yeah, I see that.
All the Marvel Legends that I have as well. Which was
cool.
The coolest thing for me is like doing stuff with the Mattel, but also like so the guy that his name's Ryan, who actually does like the Marvel Legends stuff, he's a fan. So he has like my figures like in his displays when he's like, here's a new Marvel Legends coming out. But if you look at the bottom, I think I like the Instagram post. There's like me as Wolverine and me as like the Spider-Man Venom one and me as the other one. So he has them at the bottom of the screen. It's my figures too. So it's cool that it's like my two nerddoms are coming together.
Yeah, it's wild. Do you have the complete Spider-Man and Batman collection yet, or are you having a hard time keeping track of what you're picking up?
So obviously I limited myself. Like I have the whole Spider-Man animated series collection. I have the first couple lines before it transforms into like the Hydro Wars or the like things like it goes into off the rails. But I got like the main guys of the first couple sets, and I have like all the like I have the Hobgoblin glider, I have the Tri-Spider Slater, I have the Daily Bugle play set, and as far as the Batman animated figures go, I have like all the main guys. Like when it starts going into like the duplicates of like Batman and like weird outfits and stuff, like I don't have those, but like I have the main guys.
Is there a collection you want to start next?
Oh boy. So Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is a slippery slope.
We always talk about this.
It's just there's too many.
It would be almost impossible.
Like I have all of the giant turtles.
Yeah.
But again, to collect the little mini ones, as I'm looking at I have random things over here. Like I have the NECA, like Toka and Razor over there.
Yeah.
I have like I collect Power Ranger stuff as well. So I have all the original stuff of that. Mainly Green Ranger and White Ranger stuff. But Ninja Turtles would be my next mountain to climb. But again, that just comes down to room. Like I don't have room for a lot of stuff. But like we're buying a place in Cleveland too now, so I mean we'll have a place for that as well.
Yeah.
But
it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what else to talk about at this point. We talked about toys. We talked about the way. We talked about your baby, which I think is the most important thing. And again, I think everybody is super excited about. Is there anything you want to talk about before we go? Anything that springs to mind you want to touch on?
Man, I'm trying to think now.
Awkward silence.
Trying to think of things we haven't talked about. Talk about the Nub Theory. You want to know about that?
What is that?
So the Nub Theory, if you look it up, if you Google, the Nub Theory is like every baby at like 13 weeks has like a nub. And if it's pointing, like if the spine's like this and it's pointing like this,
okay,
it's a girl. But if it's pointing like this, it's a boy.
So if it's pointing vertical,
yes,
it's a boy. Okay. And then horizontal is a girl.
Yes.
All right.
So all our ultrasound, I can't see the nub. And I'm trying to see the freaking nub because I want to and it's like 90% accurate. But me and Candace can't see the nub in our pictures. Like we think maybe we see it, but we're not sure. So like that's been what I've been like the nub theory and the skull theory. If like the skull is rounder, it's a girl. If it's more blocky, it's a boy.
Okay.
But obviously, I'm just seeing what I want to see in these things.
Yeah.
I'm obviously looking for reasons. But yeah, look up Nub Theory and Skull Theory. That's how I'm spending my life anymore.
Well, don't get too stressed out because everything's going to be great and everyone is excited for you. And I'm excited that we got to have this conversation again. Thank you for making the time for me. I don't want to ask, how do I ask this in a different way? I asked you the last 2 times you're on the podcast, I guess. All right. Let's ask it like this.
Oh boy.
Johnny Gargano, before we go, fatherhood is on the horizon.
Yeah, it's on the way. Yeah.
What inspires you when it comes to being a father? What kind of dad do you think you're going to be? Because I know how you are with the dog.
Yeah. So my biggest, what I say all the time is to Candace. So I have like 3 different vet apps on my phone so I can just talk to vets whenever I need to.
What?
Yeah. Like I signed up for like 3 different vet like services on my phone. So like 24/7. If there's a problem, I'd be like, okay, what do I do? What do I do? And I've used it many times. If anything's wrong with her, I'm immediately on my phone talking to a vet, like chatting with a vet. So if that shows you any type of how I'm going to be with a human baby,
yeah,
like I can only imagine. I'm going to be stressed out 24/7.
Sure.
But I also don't think I'm going to be as stressed out with a human baby than I am with a dog. Maybe off the bat, but like when we get later, he can talk. He'll be able to tell me what's wrong.
Yeah.
Dog can't do that. Dog can't tell me what's wrong.
Are you worried about changing diapers?
No. Like I pick up poop off the floor for the dog all the time.
Yeah.
So like poop doesn't really freak me out. My dad never wanted to change my diapers. He refused to do it. Didn't do it.
Why?
Didn't do it. Didn't want to do it. Didn't smell too bad. So it never changed my diapers.
Come on, man.
But me, I think I'll be fine doing that. Like I said, I'm pretty hands-on picking up Padme's poop. So I think I should be okay with that. There's nothing really that's like foreboding for me as a dad to be. It's one of those things like things change, obviously, if it's a boy or a girl. So we'll see how that goes. We should know. We are going to know in a couple weeks. Everyone else won't know for a while.
Yeah. So when are you going to do the gender reveal for everybody else?
We don't know. We're trying to figure it out. Because obviously the hardest part was everyone lives all over the world.
Yeah.
Like Candace's family's in like California and Idaho, and all my family's in Ohio. That's why we waited so long to tell everyone publicly too, is because we wanted to make sure you guys all knew first. So like there was like a domino effect of like, okay, like there's legit concern over like if this leaks. That's why we didn't want to tell too many people at work, because if it leaks online, then my mom, I mean, you know, my mom, she's going to read the dirt sheets.
Yeah.
So my mom's going to find out that we're pregnant from like the internet, and we didn't want that to happen.
Right.
So we were kind of a race against the clock once we told people at work, like, okay, we got to, like, that's why, like, we told my mom and her mom, and then, like, she went home and told her dad, and then I flew home and told my dad, and we told you guys. Then once we were all done with that, like, we got all the family and friends out the way, we were like, okay, like, we can finally announce this thing to the public. But yeah, so that was, so like when we do the gender reveal, we don't know if like we're going to do it in spurts again, where it's like, I'll come to Cleveland and then I'll tell you guys some way, and then we'll go to California, we'll tell them some way. We haven't decided that yet. We just know we are going to know. We're not going to do the thing where like we both don't know and everyone's surprised.
Yeah.
We're going to know just because we don't want there to be like a weird, like, oh no, it's this, or like, oh, it's this. So we want like to be prepared. So
Yeah.
when we can show you guys can be happy. We'll figure it out.
For sure. Well, it's an exciting time for you guys. I know that it's an exciting time to be a part of it. I can't wait to I can't wait to see how this baby turns out. It's going to be an interesting experience. And just thank you again for sitting and talking with me for a little bit. I'm sure most people already know that listen to the show, but if they wanted to find you on social media, how could they do so?
Yeah, at Johnny Gargano on both now, officially on both. Usually it was at Johnny Gargano on Twitter and at the Johnny Gargano on Instagram.
Oh,
but I'm at Johnny Gargano now on Instagram as well. It was like, luckily that person gave up that handle, so I was able to get it.
Is that all it was? They
just opened up. I saw one day. I was like, oh, it's open. So I told the WWE people, and they're like, oh, let's get it, and then they got it, and it's good.
Oh wow, well, yeah. That's awesome. Good for you.
Thanks.
And before we go, I just want to say that with all my heart, I love you, and if you just want to say it back to me, that would be tremendous. So here you go.
No, I'm not in that emotional state yet. Maybe when I have the kid, that'll change me, and I'll be like all real emotional. I'll be able to tell you I love you too, but not yet. Next year when we do this, and the baby is literally right here, maybe then.
Oh boy, I can't wait to be bullied by a baby. It's gonna be
great. Baby's gonna punch you in the head. It's gonna be sweet.
Okay. That was the interview with Johnny Gargano as he talked about the birth of his child. What a beautiful story. Very excited for him. I mentioned that several times during the interview. I'm going to mention it again. And, I got so wrapped up in baby talk that I didn't even talk about something I really wanted to focus on this month, because this was the month in which it used to fall on. Pro Wrestling Ohio used to hold an event called Resolution each and every year. I don't count my match with Johnny at Resolution 1 outside of my match, even though I think that was very good for the time period in 2008. I think he had 3 of the best matches of his life. And no one really knows about because it happened in PWO/Prime Wrestling. I'm talking about Resolution 2, Resolution 3, and Resolution 4 in downtown Cleveland. We told a great story in Pro Wrestling Ohio over the course of 3 years. Resolution 2, a match for the Pro Wrestling Ohio Championship. Josh Prohibition versus Johnny Gargano in a very emotional contest. Resolution 3, Johnny Gargano versus M-Dog, Matt Cross in a very athletic match. And then everything came full circle at Resolution 4, triple threat match. Johnny Gargano versus Josh Prohibition versus M-Dog, Matt Cross. 3 of the best matches that Johnny's ever had. I really wanted to go in depth with him on those matches. Maybe we will down the line. It's not like it's the last time he's ever going to be on the show.
They were in overdrive in that one.
They did. Instead of calling the subtitle for that 4th show,
it wasn't Full Circle.
Full Circle, which it should have been. They called it Overdrive. So that was not a good decision. But I really would like to touch on those matches in the future, and actually feeling a little froggy because those matches are no longer available on the internet. I think I'm going to be putting them up on Patreon over the next week or so. So if you want to check out 3 of Johnny's best matches that not a lot of people have seen, except for like the 1,000 people that were in attendance each year and some of the viewing audience at the time when these shows ended in edited form, you get to see the full version over on patreon.com/Iron Wrestling. At some point, I feel like we need to review these Resolution shows because there was a lot of good, there was some bad, and probably some ugly too, but I think those shows are worth going back and watching at some point. What do you think, Aaron?
I would love to.
Yeah, those are they played such important roles in our life, and like I said, some of Johnny's best moments happened in PWO, especially on that Resolution stage. But it's good stuff, and it's worth checking out. So if you're interested, $3, you can check out these matches as I upload them slowly this week. I'm going to get to it. I've been busy in my personal life, but the Patreon content is something I'm very proud of, and it's very important to me, so I'll make sure to be getting that up on to the website. And I just can't stress enough how important. But apparently, I don't know, something else important is
Pardon the interruption.
Oh, okay.
Breaking news.
Okay. Yes.
I've been on the phone and in text messages with sources who have told me that the former booker of Pro Wrestling Ohio and the former owner of Pro Wrestling Ohio are getting back together.
Wait, so you're talking about Walt the promoter and Joe Dombrowski?
Correct. My sources. Hold on. Let me get my phone and check.
Wait. They had a big falling out that we've never really discussed on the podcast, but
This is going to be like Bischoff and McMahon.
well, I don't
joining
know if it's
forces.
the same thing at all, but okay.
Oh boy. Yes. They have rejoined forces and are coming out with a new wrestling promotion.
What?
Welterweight Wrestling. Walt the promoter and Joe Dombrowski, who was promoting what was it called?
Welterweight wrestling.
Yes. They have now joined forces, and they will be Welterweight Wrestling.
Oh boy, that was your big joke.
That's not a joke. That's an actual text I got. I'll show you. Hold on, don't look at this picture.
Okay.
Hold on.
No,
Hold on, don't look at this one either.
I'm not gonna look at anything.
Hold on.
No.
I'll screenshot it for you.
Please don't.
Do you want me to send it?
Welterweight wrestling. Wow. Are they only gonna book guys named Walt
No. You have to weigh.
as much as Walt?
Yes.
Walt's a big man.
Is he?
He was a big man.
I saw last time I saw him. He wasn't big no mo. That's too bad. Hey, can I give you my? We always do like 3 things.
Yeah.
Can I give you my 3 Johnny Gargano favorite moments?
Sure. Go for it.
Number 1. People don't know this, but and I hope I'm not putting out too much here, but Johnny Gargano sent me and my clients at work 20 The Way shirts.
I remember this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not too long ago, you guys had
Right.
an in-your-house takeover day at the center.
Yes. And Johnny, we reached out and he delivered, man. It overnighted from WWE headquarters The Way shirts. And they're sweet shirts.
Yeah.
Did you see them?
I saw him.
Okay.
Very cool.
Yeah. Nice deal, man. So that's, my new current favorite Johnny Gargano moment.
Well, and Johnny doesn't put that stuff out there usually. He does a lot of stuff under the radar that not a lot of people know about. Actually, I'm on Cameo, but he specifically doesn't have a Cameo because it makes me look like a dick for having a Cameo when I say this, but he wants people when they get videos to feel special. And
I did.
Yeah.
When he sent me my second favorite memory of Johnny Gargano, which was the Mega Hall of Fame induction.
Oh yeah, and you must have held back tears when they played that in front of the live crowd, right?
I was working my tears.
No, didn't they never play it?
Oh, that's right. That's right. Johnny's never got played.
Yeah, I made sure to get one for you from Vic Joseph,
Yes.
which I think they played.
Yes.
And then the Johnny one somehow didn't make it into the video, which you would have thought, Mega over the years hasn't brought in the most high profile of stars. They've had their moments. But you would have thought that they would probably play the Johnny Gargano video for current WWE superstar
And
Johnny
champion.
Gargano.
And
Yeah. They somehow missed that one.
Oof.
But
Yeah, that's rough.
yeah.
But I liked, I liked receiving the video, and sometimes because Johnny's so, I don't know, what do we say? He's kind of quiet.
He's quiet. He's
Citizen.
an introvert.
Yeah. Okay. I wanted to say introvert, but I thought that was too harsh.
No.
But no, he
said
is
it himself on the episode.
Oh, okay, good. And yeah, man, he sent that video. So what I'm saying is, a lot of times since he is an introvert, I feel like I'm not friends with him. You know what I mean? But he sent me some very nice words, and then I felt like, okay, maybe we were friends. And then one time we went to NXT. And Johnny was slapping fans.
Slapping fans. What a guy.
Slapping hands with all the fans.
Yeah.
And he pulled me in for a hug, and I was shocked as shit because Johnny and I we were the ones that started the whole just doing a too sweet when you see somebody.
Yeah.
Because we didn't like touching people's hands.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, if we didn't even like shaking hands, I was surprised. So that was a cool moment. And then the third one was managing Johnny and Starless putting me on top of Johnny on top of a table, and then him going to the top rope, and then the table just collapsing.
I forgot that thing happened.
And then he went through with the frog splash anyways. And
Yeah.
Yep. So, man, but I have a lot of great moments with Johnny Gargano. Those are some right off the bat, but he's a good dude.
Yeah.
And I'm very, very happy for him.
Yeah. And we're happy to call him a friend, and we appreciate him sharing his time, and we appreciate all the stuff that he does that no one knows that he does.
Oh, and I DM'd him to thank him for the shirts. No response.
Sounds about right.
So, introvert, yes, and also does not want credit for doing good things for people.
Yeah. He does a lot of good deeds, and I think we've talked about it on previous episodes. Some people that have met Johnny over the years that have been in locker rooms with him get the impression that Johnny is a dick because he does not talk. That's not the case. Johnny is one of the best people I know, and I wouldn't be such close friends with him if he wasn't a good person. And I love him like a brother, and can't thank him enough for everything he does, but we're not going to get too mushy here. It's the end of the show, and we're going to take it home. So until next time, thank you for listening. Please subscribe to the podcast, subscribe to the YouTube, give us 5 stars on iTunes or wherever you download podcasts. Leave a comment. We would appreciate that. I happen to have an extra Manscaped Lawnmower 4.0 that I did not use, and a weed whacker. And perhaps maybe if you leave 5 stars and a comment and you can prove it, you screen cap it, you send it to me in a DM, perhaps maybe one lucky fella or lady can win this extra Lawnmower 4.0 exclusively from Manscaped. That's like a $79.99 value.
Yeah.
And I'll give it to you for free.
Hey, I have a used Lawnmower 3.0.
Okay.
If anybody's interested in that.
All right. What do they got
Leave
to
a
do to get it?
comment and
Okay.
do whatever the things are you just said.
Uh-huh.
You're so good at that. How do you know how to say all that stuff? How does that come off the top of your head like that?
I don't know. I just say it every week.
I know, but come on, man. That's difficult.
I stutter over my words a lot, though. I worry that
I've never heard you.
too many brain injuries really cause that. But that's another story for another day. Listen, follow us on social media at Iron on Wrestling. Follow me on social media at Gregory Iron on Twitter, at Gregory_Iron on Instagram. Find me on Facebook. Go to my website, www.gregory-iron.com, where you can book me for pro wrestling, motivational speaking, pro wrestling seminars, anything really. Send me a message. Maybe you can book me for it. If you can't get a hold of me through my website, just go to my DMs, send me a tweet or something. We'll work something out. Appreciate you. Go to my Pro Wrestling Tee store, prowrestlingtees.com/Gregory Iron. And, of course, go to my Cameo. I can send you a video shout-out. Anything you want, anything you're celebrating, I'll help you out. You want me to roast someone, I can do that. Anything you want.
Can I have you talk to the bank for me?
What's the problem? What's the problem at the bank?
Some motherfucker, some dirty motherfucker, hacked my account.
Oh.
And used my card, and I got a message from the bank a few days ago, and it said, "Did you attempt to spend $39.99 on bigbootyhose.com or something like that?" And then I replied, "No, I tried to give $29.99."
Okay.
No, I said, no, I did not attempt to make this purchase. And he said, okay, well, your card has immediately been stopped, and you no longer have access for the next 10 to 12 days.
Well, if
Will
you
you talk to them for me?
if
or
you
can
send
give
me $20 on Cameo,
I can't. I don't have my bank account anymore.
well, what bank do you go through?
North.
What bank do you go through?
I think it's Northwest, but
Oh, okay.
it could just as easily be.
Well, I hope it's not KeyBank.
They're the biggest scammers.
Because I hear KeyBank is the biggest scammers. In fact, I have a little audio to prove that they're the biggest scammers. Just so you guys know. I'm not going to put any context to this. Just know that KeyBank is a scam. Hold on one second.
KeyBank is the biggest scam in the world. The biggest scammers in the world. Not only did they steal $15 from me without a single alert, a single warning, no one told me. Now they're telling me to close the account. I have to spend $25 to close the account after they stole $15 from me.
Oh.
Never get KeyBank. They are a scam.
That's solid advice. Just so I think you'll be okay.
Well, I don't know that I'm upset with my bank because they caught somebody trying to scam me.
I just wanted to play the clip.
I know you did. It was halfway through when I was saying what bank I go through that I realized what you're doing.
I thought that's where you were going when you were talking about the bank. When I said what bank?
No,
do you
I
have?
was shooting. I got no money for 10 to 12 days at
okay.
least.
Well-
All my bills are due right now.
What do you want to plug?
That's it.
Just-
I'm just done now.
okay.
I gotta call the fucking bank.
All right. Well, call someone and tell them to listen to Iron on Wrestling and come back next week. We appreciate you.
If you don't know my email or my fucking Twitter
He doesn't even know it.
and the Instagram by now, just go to Greg's and then look me up on there. Whatever, if you want to friend me, but not many people do. And
Did Jess friend you?
she did,
Did she?
I think. I don't. Did she not?
I thought you guys were talking.
Huh? Oh gosh, I got caught.
Oh. It's almost like you're building a house of lies, Aaron.
Would you like to spend the night in my house of lies?
Yes, I would. I'm not going home tonight. I'm sleeping over in the studio. So, hey, but this podcast will be up for Patreon on Tuesday. That's for damn sure. But hey, if it's Wednesday, hope you enjoyed that. If it's Wednesday, you know what that means. Goodbye. See you next week. Cheers.
Girl, you know I gotta get you pregnant. You know I gotta get you pregnant.
Lay your body down and get you pregnant. Knock you up. Oh, girl, I'ma take care of you, and I'ma still hold you like we was brand new. So don't get it twisted for 30-something weeks. I'm still gonna hit it, baby said it.
Take you out to eat, round and dine, shopping spree. You sexing me, I believe I can fly. And I also believe that, girl, I'ma get you pregnant. Lay your body down and get you pregnant. Lay your body down and get you
Lay your body
pregnant.
down and get you
Girl, you know I gotta get you pregnant.
Knock you up.
Pregnant.
Knock you up.
And it's all your fault, girl, that you look so good. And it's all your fault, girl, that it feels like wood. And you look so bored up in this club, so let's go hop my fly-ass Lamborghini. We'll walk to my big home, shawty, let's go crazy and make a little Kelly. Baby, I got the goodies, but tonight they ain't staying in the jar. But all I ask is that you let me into your secret garden.